Welcome back. In this one, we're gonna focus on needles, how to install your needle, the different kinds of needles that come with your little Rebel, and when to use what. Common issues that can occur with needles is thread breakage, tension, you name it, you can have issues with that, especially if there's burrs or something that have developed. So it's something that you do need to replace regularly. We recommend every project. Larger projects, you may even have to change it out more frequently. You also want to make sure you're using the right size needle for the project and that the thread that you're using, because that can add problems. And orientation of the needle could also cause issues with skip stitches or elongated stitches and so on. Let's talk about needle sizes to start with. So here I have all the needles that come with the little Rebel. And we have over here on the right hand side the number information. So it is, there's two different numbers here. One is the metric number, which tells you the diameter of the shaft. This is 80, so it is a smaller one. After the slash, the 12 is the American system. So an 80-12 needle is really designed for thinner thread. It's designed for thinner types of fabrics, silks, things like that. The next one is the 90-14. The 90-14 is a pretty universal size needle, very commonly used when piecing together cottons, quilters cotton, thing like that. You'll find it'll probably be the one that you use most often when you are piecing. The next is the 116. This is a good quilting needle. It also could be used for sewing heavier fabrics that you're piecing together, like some kinds of denim or canvas. It's on the thinner side, more like the clothing type that you might wear. And then we have the 110-18. The 110-18 is the one that comes pre-installed with your little Rebel because it is tested for both sewing and quilting before it gets put in the box and shipped to you. The 110-18 is also the one that we recommend for using for quilting, whether you're push quilting or if you're frame quilting and you are using finesse thread, because finesse thread is a 50 weight thread, so you're going to want that larger needle. Since we're talking about sewing, let's talk about changing our needle. The first thing that you're going to want to do, I like to take my foot off because it just gives me better access to the needle. You're going to loosen the screw that is on the needle bar and remove that old needle, put it somewhere safe in a sharps container or something for throwing away so that you don't hurt yourself. You're going to get the needle that you need. I'm going to put in the 90-14 since what we're primarily going to be working on for sewing is piecing cotton together. And so there are some parts of the needle you need to be aware of. The shank of the needle is this part up here, and ours are perfectly circular. So you could potentially put this in the wrong way. In order to get it adjusted properly, you really kind of need to think about that. Some manufacturers of needles will have a flat side. Those will not work with our machines, and vice versa. These will not work with their machines. So keep that in mind too when you are ordering replacement needles. There is a groove that is in the front of your needle, and that's actually where the thread is going to sit in there. You can see the hole, that's where you end up threading your needle through. And I'm gonna flip this so you can see that on this, you've got that little bit of a lump right there where we have that groove, right? So this actually is divoted more on this side than this side. Okay, so that is the back of the needle. To help you with alignment, we have included a magnet. You want to place that magnet where that lump is so that you can see where the front of your needle is. All right, so now we're going to go install that. Carefully place your needle back up into the needle bar. And I'm just going to do a light tight for right now. And so you can see that this is not quite straight. Now, the little Rebel, if you're quilting on, it's going to be facing you. So this may feel a little awkward. When you're sewing, it's not going to be facing you. It's going to be facing to the left. So that's something that's a little bit different than what you might be used to with a domestic machine. But remember, this is a dual purpose machine. So sewing, you want it facing to the left. I can see it's not quite right, so I'm just going to give it a little turn with my fingers until I get it about where it is. Then I'm going to tighten this screw. It's important that you actually use the screwdriver to tighten it completely, because finger tight is not quite enough for the power of this machine. You could end up shaking it loose, and then that's going to cause you problems as well. So finger tight to get it adjusted, and then you want to do that. Keep your needle magnet handy with your replacement needles, because you'll always need those together. Okay, so we've installed our needle. We then can put our foot back on, and then you would rethread your machine. Please see that video on how to properly thread. Once you have rethreaded your machine, go ahead and do some test sews to make sure that your needle is placed in there properly, that your tension is still good, and just to make sure that you did get it tight enough, because you'll start sewing. If it's not tight enough, your needle's going to fall out, and you'll know right away. Another thing to be careful of is that you haven't wrapped your thread around your needle, because that could also cause your needle to break. All right, it's all good. Couple other tips on needles. Prior to putting your needle in, it's a good idea just to take a look and just feel it and make sure that there isn't anything wrong with it. Again, things happen in the manufacturing process. Now and again, you get something that's bad, and there might be a little bend. You can look at it, you can kind of set it on the table, make sure that it's rolling well and everything looks good. Even if you have changed your needle and you're still experiencing things like skip stitches, double check that orientation. Maybe you accidentally put the other way. It's really little, and if you got old eyes like me, it's hard to see that you have the right side. And if you've gone through everything and you've changed your needle and it's like, no, I changed my needle, get another needle and try again, just to be sure. If you've hit anything, change your needle. You've probably put a bend in there. It might even just be micro and you can't see it, but it's enough for it to cause you some issues. So just a couple tips there to make sure that your needle experience and your sewing experience is good. Need new needles or want to know more information about the needles? Check out our website at graceframe.com. You can also find out more information about your machine by checking out the manual that came with the Little Rebel, or you can find the PDF copy that's also under resources on our website. Excited about what you've seen so far and you want to pull the trigger on the Little Rebel? Go ahead and give our sales folks a call or contact them, sales@graceframe.com. Thanks for joining us, and please remember to like and subscribe. In the next set of videos, we're going to start talking about the troubleshooting with the Little Rebel, specifically when we are in quilt mode.